Going to block him with a tight end.
No.
Alizé Mack was there. Ain't going to work. 3rd and 9. Wimbush going up top, and it is caught by Mack, who took a hit to the head as well. Irish have picked up all 3 first down opportunities, and from the 43, Wimbush looking deep. Chris Fink down there. Fink, did he catch it? Yes! Touchdown Irish! Incredible grab! Second down. Patterson in trouble. He lost the football. It's free. The Irish pick it up. Tavon Coney out of bounds. Ball game. Notre Dame will win.
And the Terps have talked about how it's time to get back to focusing on the game, but that everything that they do, every play that they make, every snap they take is going to be in honor of McNair. And for this first play, you'll notice that the plan is to leave that right guard spot open. And they will take a delay of game. Texas on board with this will decline the penalty. It's a classy move by the Longhorns to be on board with it. Opening drive of the season for the Terps, and on 2nd down and 7, it's a sweep play. And breaking free for the touchdown is Jay-Sean Jones on his first touch as a Terp. It's Colin Johnson. Here's a shot. They've got Duvernay. He makes a leaping extended grab for the touchdown.
Blitzing for Maryland, but not in coverage. He told me when he gets him one-on-one, he's going to take advantage. Just confirmed that he caught it with the layout, the extension.
3rd and 10. Texas bringing pressure out of the secondary. Maryland beats it. Jay-Sean Jones, welcome to college football. This is going to come back, though. This is going to come back as he taunts his way into the end zone. It should be 2 touches as a collegiate and 2 touchdowns. With the Seattle Seahawks, Luchevsky's not done much to make those feelings go away in this first half. So the drive begins at the Texas 20. And on a sweep, it's Jay-Sean Jones, and he can pass! Touchdown, Jacobs! They get it off, and again, everybody dropping. So Ellinger with time. Extends the play. Downfield, and picked off! Antoine Brooks likely sealing the deal for the Terps.
5, here's Jake Browning. Throwing and completing to Aaron Fuller. He high steps a man. And he's got the first down yardage. Taking another shot. Oh, a spectacular catch by Quentin Pounds for the touchdown. Here's 3rd and 6 from the 8. Browning looking that way. Off a little pick play. It's Aaron Fuller for the touchdown, but there is a flag down.
Pass interference. Offense number 2. 15 yards from the previous spot. Repeat 3rd down.
This from 40 for the redshirt freshman from California. Yeah, the snap was a bit of an issue, and that's not even close. So the Huskies with nothing to show from it. Here's 3rd and goal. Browning, option, loses the football. And it's picked up by Auburn. Huskies getting a little too cute, and it burns them. Have to be thinking 6. And on 3rd and 7, on the ground, it's Whitlow into the end zone. Touchdown!
He's up another 3rd down. Now 3rd down and long here.
Browning looking to escape. And he has the first down yardage. All-out blitz. 4th and 16. Here they come. Browning not going to get out of there.
How's it going, everybody? Flashjordan here. We are back for week 2 of the college football season, not presented by eBay. You definitely cannot own your game day game plan by shopping at eBay. Week 1 was a fantastic week of college football. A few surprises here and there, especially from Maryland, like Maryland beating Texas, LSU blowing out Miami, Alabama destroying Louisville and naming Tua Tagovailoa the starter for next week, as we all kind of knew they would. But we're going to start with a new segment on this show. We're going to go over our biggest surprises from this past week. And for me personally, it was the performance of Penn State and Michigan State. Now, Michigan State has struggled in openers in the last couple seasons, but this is not what I was expecting from a team who brought back 19 starters to start 2018. That was way too close against Utah State. And then for Penn State, they took Appalachian State to overtime, or vice versa probably, and snuck away with the win there, again winning in overtime. So those were my biggest surprises from week 1. As always, I'm joined by my father, Craig Cruz. How are you doing tonight? And what were your biggest takeaways or surprises? I keep saying takeaways, surprises from week 1.
Well, they're both takeaways and surprises. I'm doing great, enjoying the new college football season as a distraction from the baseball season. But college football really is number 1 at the moment. I would say in total agreement with you when it comes to Penn State and App State, but I'm not surprised by App State doing what they did. Maybe the fact that it was at home, but I mean, obviously Penn State's not going to App State to play. And then the Maryland-Texas game. The fact that Maryland beat Texas in the way that they beat them is just awesome to me. So it's good to see that. I was surprised. I picked Texas to win. I was wrong on that pick. I should not have put any faith in Texas.
Yeah, and speaking of picks, you actually beat me in week 1 for the first time in a long time. You were 8-2. Actually, if we're counting did you say LSU would beat Miami?
No, I'm not going to count that.
No, okay.
That was the big game.
Okay. Well, anyway, in the pick'em, he was 8-2, and I was 6-4 in week 1.
I mean, I knew that. I called that the LSU would be Miami.
Yeah, I wanted LSU to win, but I just didn't think it was going to happen. But they ended up rolling over Miami, and Virginia Tech blew out Florida State too, which is something that I didn't see coming. Now, the new AP poll came out yesterday, and we're going to look at our top 25 here. I'm not too concerned about anything. Virginia Tech and LSU definitely took huge leaps, especially LSU going up 14, Virginia Tech going up 8, and then the big fallers were Miami falling 14 and Michigan falling 7. I don't really have any problem with that. Also, you see Penn State and Michigan State falling 2. Washington only falling 3 spots is something that I know you're a little concerned about. But I think Washington was the better team in that Auburn game. They had a lot of chances to win it. So I don't have any huge problems with the new AP poll.
I don't really either. Not the new one. South Carolina looked really good. Florida looked pretty good. The fact that Michigan and Miami are at the close to the very end is probably about right. I think either team, one more loss, they're gone.
Yeah. And
then the only other surprise, I guess, is that Washington is in the top 10 in the AP poll. So kind of a stickler for first week losses. But what you do when you do that is you keep another team from being higher, because Washington is definitely not gonna be 11-1. So I don't even know why you keep them in.
I disagree with that, but if we're going off last week, maybe I should probably listen to you as.
Well, they play Utah, they play Arizona State, BYU, Oregon, Stanford, and then, those are their tough games. Cal is not even a win for them. So anyway,
we'll see. And let's get into the meat and potatoes of this show. The picks for week 2, starting off, number 18, Mississippi State at Kansas State. Now, Mississippi State coming in with their amazing quarterback, Nick Fitzgerald, after getting a week 1 win, and so did Kansas State. And I think Mississippi State's going to continue maybe as the dark horse in the SEC West, possibly getting a couple surprise wins later in the year. They're going to start off the year 2-0, will Mississippi State.
Well, I picked Mississippi State as well over Kansas State, even though Kansas State did win. But yeah, number 18 versus unranked team. Mississippi State, they might be able to stay in the top 25 for a while, but right now, win over Kansas State.
The next game we have here, the Arizona Wildcats at the Houston Cougars. Now, I picked Arizona to beat BYU last week, and I was pretty confident in them. I had them on my sixth game, and they lost to BYU at home. And maybe BYU's good, or maybe Arizona's not as good as we thought they would. Maybe Khalil Tate isn't as good as we thought he was. And I think, honestly, I think they're going to start off 0-2 too. I have Houston beating them. Houston's been one of the best group of 5 teams here of the past few years, so I like Houston starting 2-0, and Arizona surprisingly starting 0-2.
Yeah, if you're a Texas Longhorn fan, you might as well be a Houston Cougar fan. I picked Houston to win Arizona, or to beat Arizona for several reasons. A, they're a great program. Arizona is a shaky program, so coming off of a loss, they're going to lose again. They're my number 3 slot.
Next game we have here, the UCLA Bruins at the number 6 Oklahoma Sooners. Now, UCLA didn't have the start they were looking to begin Chip Kelly's new tenure there, losing to Cincinnati at home. That's just horrible for UCLA. And I think Oklahoma will have a repeat performance of last week after they blew out FAU. I like Oklahoma big in this one.
So Oklahoma smashed Lane Kiffin. Yeah, that was a good one. I'm not a Lane Kiffin fan, really. As far as sports, I mean, I'm sure he's a great guy. I don't know. But UCLA, this is my 10th game. 10 points on this one. Oklahoma, it's at Boomer Soonerville. So UCLA coming in beating Oklahoma is either going to be the biggest news of the weekend, and I will gladly sacrifice 10 points to see them go down. But got the Sooners winning.
Yeah, and these games are tough this week. There are a few games where
initially they were tough to me, but now that I really have taken some time to research and think, they're not that difficult.
Yeah, for me, I'm just kind of taking the safe route this week with a lot of my picks. Like this
well,
next.
Well, half of them aren't difficult. The other half are a toss-up to me.
Yeah, this next game we have here, the number 3 Georgia Bulldogs at the number 24 newly ranked South Carolina Gamecocks. Now, this might be, a sleeper game here. I'm sure most people are picking Georgia, but do not get it twisted. They've lost 3 out of their last 4 games at South Carolina, so a South Carolina upset here would not surprise me at all. But I am going to pick UGA to take this one.
Yeah, I'll go with the Bulldogs as well for obvious reasons. They're a great team. South Carolina has something to prove, though. I mean, think about SEC teams that have something to prove. Georgia's made their case last year. South Carolina, man, it's been a while since the freak, Clowney was in there. So they need to beat Georgia, but they're not going to.
The next game we have here, the Iowa State Cyclones and the Iowa Hawkeyes. I guess Iowa State didn't play last week. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to them, but they're going into their first game at their rival Iowa, who got a win against Northern Illinois last week. I think Iowa's going to come out on top in this one. It's a rivalry game. You never know what could happen, but I am going to pick Iowa to take this one over the Cyclones.
You know what? There's a part of me that never wants to pick Iowa for another win on any sort of selection show like this or predictions. I would love to rank them at the very bottom of the Big Ten West, but they're better than that, I think. I'm picking the Cyclones. The Cyclones are giant killers. Iowa's not a giant, but they're going to beat them. They're going to beat them at Iowa.
Interesting pick there. The next game is where game day's at, so we'll save that one for last. The next game we have here, the Kentucky Wildcats at the number 25 Florida Gators. Florida is newly ranked. Kentucky had a little bit of, compared to what Kentucky's been the last few years, they had a little bit of a revival last year, going 7-5. If with a win here at Florida, Kentucky is on the upward path here, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Florida is going to take this one, and they're probably going to do it big.
Yeah, as far as Kentucky goes, a win over Florida is not going to be the biggest news of the weekend. It will be considered an upset because they're in the top 25. But I've got Florida winning this one. It's my 6th game. And I want to say, too, the last one, the Iowa State beating Iowa is my 9th game. It's up there. That's a toss-up, but I'm confident that Iowa State's going to win.
the next game we have here, this is an interesting one based on what happened last week. The number 13 Penn State Nittany Lions at the Pitt Panthers. Remember a couple years ago, Pitt did beat Penn State. And I would not be shocked if it happened again, but I do think Penn State cleans up their mistakes from last year. It'll be a very, very close game, but I think Penn State ultimately will come out on top over Pitt.
This is an interesting week for you and I because I've got the Panthers beating the Lions. Now, it's great for you to have that hat still. I mean, being an Ohio State fan and all, I think you'd burn it by now. There's some sentimental value to that hat, but the Panthers are going to eat the Lions for lunch. By the way, Iowa State game with San Diego State got canceled. That's why they didn't.
Oh, okay. There were a lot of weather delays last week.
Yeah,
I noticed.
a lot of lightning.
Nebraska's game also got postponed. Next game we have here, the number 17 USC Trojans at the number 10 Stanford Cardinal. Now, USC's got a new freshman quarterback, JT Daniels, and they had a close game with UNLV for a while. They did pull away in the fourth quarter, but I don't know. I'm a little shaky on that. That's kind of how they started last year against Western Michigan too. But now they're going at number 10 Stanford with Heisman candidate Bryce Love at running back, and I think Stanford's going to take this one.
Well, I've got Stanford winning this one as well, and they are the tiebreaker. So I've got them winning by 3. It's going to be 20-17. And the reason why Stanford is going to win is because USC is overranked once again in the beginning of the season. I don't see them winning, especially, look, Stanford's probably the better team on paper, and they're smart. Stanford.
Next game we have here, the number 15 Michigan State Spartans at the Arizona State Sun Devils. Again, a team who struggled in week 1 with a group of 5 opponent, this time being Utah State. At Arizona State Sun Devils, Herm Edwards looking to get his first marquee win at Arizona State maybe this week. And if Michigan State loses this game, it's not, they're like, I don't know, it may just come crashing down for Mark D'Antonio. But I do think Michigan State's going to come back. I think they do get the win in a very close and sloppy game.
Yeah, a 38-31 win over Utah State in your home stadium. It's. I guess you're right when you said Penn State, Michigan State were disappointments because I would say Utah State's even worse than App State. They're both good teams. Yeah. They're not slouch teams. I'm still picking Michigan State over Arizona State.
And the final game we have here, College Game Day will be there Saturday morning. The number 2 Clemson Tigers at the Texas A&M Aggies. Another coach trying to get his first marquee win as this time the coach of the Texas A&M Aggies, Jimbo Fisher, looking to beat Dabo Swinney and the number 2 Clemson Tigers. Now, Jimbo Fisher is very familiar with Clemson, having coached at Florida State for a while before A&M. As much as I want to see A&M win this game, I don't know if that's going to happen. I am going to pick Clemson to beat the Aggies, but watch out for the Aggies in this game. This is definitely I can't talk. Clemson is on upset alert here, but I am going to take them over the Aggies.
Well, I think the reason why it's game day is because Jimbo. I don't think normally it would be a game day if there wasn't such acclamation of him. But look, Clemson is supposed to play 2 quarterbacks versus Texas A&M, Bryant and Trevor Lawrence. I don't know how that's going to work out. So with Texas A&M, did they play? I don't remember Clemson playing 2 quarterbacks last week specifically.
No,
but I don't know that that's a good week to do that unless they feel like they're just so good that they can do whatever they want, and maybe they can. But I got Clemson.
So that'll wrap up our video for week 2 of the college football season. We will be back for week 3. Week 2 could be a week of a lot of upsets, a lot of new teams coming into the rankings. We don't know, but it should be a fantastic weekend of college football. Any last words for the people at home?
Yes, words of advice for life. Wherever you go, there you are. And with that, I say, Daddy-o out.
All right, see you next week.